What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 45, and we start today's episode off with the board reminding us that Victor Anichebe's contract is up at the end of the year, and because of that, and the fact he's over 23, it means that other clubs can buy him on a pre-contract, I should say sign him on a pre-contract, and they won't pay us a single penny for his services, and he'll leave the club next year. So we need to offer him a contract, which we've done, but as you can see, we don't have the money to pay what he wants. He wants a 15 grand a week increase, which it's a little bit steep, to be honest. I'm not sure whether he merits it completely, because that goes up to 40 grand a week for him. Although he has been in relatively decent form since he's come in for the injured Berahino and a day, and he had a very good game against Napoli with a couple of assists, or a second assist even. But even so, I don't mind offering him a new contract, but we can't afford it right now. And as we're going into January, this is the point. You know, we are going to request funds in January. We're going to ask the board for some money, because we just don't have enough money to keep our key players and to sign the players we need in order for us to progress. You know, I know you guys and I know this as well. I'm a decent enough player to eventually get West Bromwich Albion into the Champions League. You know, I've been doing that over the past couple of years on Career Mode series on YouTube. I know I can do that in a couple of years' time, and you know, maybe 4 or 5 years' time. You never know. We could even be challenging for the title. But you know, if we want to make those improvements, we need to get some money in to buy players. We can't do that with the current squad. And as we go into January, I need some money from the board to even just keep hold of players like Victor Anichebe. That's how frustrated I am with the limited budget we've got right now. It's nice to have more of a challenge, but even so, you know, if we want to keep hold of Anichebe, we need the board to dip into the pockets, give us some money, and let us keep hold of him. But still, we take on Spurs for the first game of today's episode, and unfortunately for us, we go behind very early on. It's Nacer Chadli, the Belgian, who gives Spurs the lead here at White Hart Lane, at a snowy White Hart Lane, and it is the Belgian who heads the ball in. It was Doumbia's header which went up in the air, and I don't know whether Foster realised the ball was actually going to loop underneath the bar, but it seemed as though as the ball went up in the air, he sort of just tracked back and thought, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. Oh no, it's not, it's going in. And then Chadli helps it in on his way. So it's Spurs 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. I'm not going to blame the goalkeeper, but maybe you could have done a bit better there. But there's no one to blame but me for this penalty here in the 16th minute, as Yedlin, the American right back, wins a penalty for Spurs, and what a storming run it was. And Yusuf Malumbu, he's not a slow player, but he was never going to catch up to Yedlin there. And I got to say, Yedlin is definitely a player I'm thinking about signing in the future. I wanted him in the summer transfer window, if you can remember, but of course we couldn't afford him. He has got so much pace, man, it's crazy. He's one of the quickest fullbacks on the game, no doubt about it. And I was never going to catch up with Malumbu. As he crossed the ball in, I tried to block the cross. I wasn't trying to take him down. I tried to block the cross. Instead, I followed through on Yedlin, and it's a definite penalty, and Malumbu gets a booking. So Spurs can make it 2-0 from the spot here. It is going to be Seydou Doumbia who is going to try and get himself into the top goal scoring charts. Obviously now Brown and Day's injured. He and Rooney at the moment are battling out for it, and it is Doumbia against Foster, and it is Doumbia who comes out on top. So the man from the Ivory Coast makes it Spurs 2, West Bromwich Albion 0 here at the White Hart Lane, and 20 minutes in we're already 2-0 down, and it looks like it's going to be a long, cold afternoon as well for the travelling fans. So 2-0 to Spurs, and I was just getting completely undone by the side from North London, because I didn't know how to cope with them. You know, I really didn't. They've got so much pace in their side, and our side's got some decent pace as well. Not too much, but you know, some relatively decent pace. But I just couldn't cope with their threat. And in the 23rd minute, we came through here with Jordan Abita crossing the ball in towards Niang, but the man who's been in such great form of late heads this ball wide, and it goes out for a goal kick. And in the 40th minute, Spurs are through again. Chadli breaks through and finds Seydou Doumbia. I bring out Ben Foster, but it's a brilliant finish by Doumbia. He makes it 3-0, gets his second of the game. I just could not cope with the guy, and Spurs were running riot before half time. 3-0 up here, and you know, my defensive line, you know, I like to play a high line. I don't like to drop deeper and invite pressure, because I don't feel like I can deal with it. I try and, you know, play a bit of an offside trap, if you will, and push higher up, but in this game I got my tactics defensively completely wrong, because they were just exploiting that, and they were working with the space behind the back line. And again here, Ben Foster makes a great save. It's what they were doing. They were playing through balls into the space, and I couldn't cope with that. And as Chadli collects the ball and finds Asu Akoto here, the left back goes down the left hand side, unsurprisingly, and finds Etienne Capoue. Back to Asu Akoto, the Cameroonian keeps holding the ball and finds Nacer Chadli. Chadli inside towards Christian Eriksen. He finds Capoue, he strikes it and finds the bottom corner and makes it Spurs 4, West Bromwich Albion 0. So the French midfielder caps off what's been a great team performance by Spurs, and I just couldn't stop them. I mean, Really, for that goal, I might have said that Foster could have done a little bit better, because the shot was at the near post at the end of the day, and to be beaten in the near post is never good for a goalkeeper. I know that from playing in goal for many years, but even so, it was a really ferociously struck shot, and I'm not surprised it did find the back of the net. So Spurs 4, West Bromwich Albion 0, and in the 83rd minute, Doumbia's through again, finds Aaron Lennon, and well, if we couldn't blame Foster for the 4th goal, I'm sorry, but he's got to take the blame for the 5th goal. Lennon, again, another transfer target of mine in the summer who never came to us. Scores the goal here, makes it Spurs 5, West Brom 0, and I was just getting completely undone. I really was, and it's frustrating, you know, because I really do feel as though we could have done a much better job defensively here against Spurs, and there were no positives to take from this game. We barely got forward ourselves, but you know, some things you just can't legislate for, and for Foster there, I mean, it's through his legs, you know, it really is, and it's at the near post, it's through his legs. The shot is taken by Lennon's weaker left foot. He's got to save that, and he doesn't, and it's Spurs 5, West Brom 0. Could have been 6 in the 88th minute as Etienne Capoue strike as well, saved by Foster, and we managed to get the ball away. And the only crumbs of comfort we could take from this game is that we got a player sent off. In the 90th minute in stoppage time, Kumalo, starting for Spurs, a very rare starter and surprising one, gets sent off here for taking down an Ichibi, and he gets a second bookable offence. I couldn't actually find out where he got his first yellow card for, so I apologise for that. I didn't know where it was in the game. It must have happened whilst I pressed X too quickly or something, or maybe it was a delayed reaction from the referee. But yeah, Kumalo got 2 bookings in this game. That was the second one, and to be honest, he could have got a straight red for that one. It's a terrible challenge, and as he took down Nichabi, he gets a needless red card, to be honest, and the game does finish 5-0 to Spurs. So I guess the crumbs of comfort is we got a player sent off, and that sums up how bad the game was. That's what we take from the game, our positive. We got a player sent off in the last minute. Brilliant, well done lads, fantastic performance. Terrible game, and yeah, I played terribly, and it's surprising, you know, it really is. You know, we had such a great game on Thursday night against Napoli, 2-1, the fans must have been delighted, what a big win, one of the best wins of the Hawthorns in recent years, and then we get battered on the weekend by Spurs, who are a great side, don't get me wrong, but it shouldn't have happened, you know, not by that magnitude anyway. But following that, we saw as well that Anichebe declined his contract. Not really surprised, his wage demands weren't met, and I was like, well, don't take it up with me, take it up with the board. There's nothing I can do about it. I know I can adjust the budget, but of course I don't really want to do that straight away, because I don't think we can even afford it, even if we did adjust the budget right now. And even if I did do that, it means that we're going to be not able to afford his sign-on bonus, and even if we do that, we can't afford to do anything in January. But even so, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I'm hopeful that we'll keep hold of Anichebe, even if we don't get him to sign a new contract in January, but we'll have to wait and see. And after that terrible loss against Spurs, we needed to bounce back in the next game of today's episode. We take on Crystal Palace, so another side from London, this time travelling to the Hawthorns here as we take them on. And you know, we didn't want to dwell on that very disappointing loss. You know, we need to put that behind us. You know, yes, last year we won 3-2 even away at Spurs, but you know, that performance, we don't want to dwell on that. We want it to just be a blip, and you know, that 5-0, just forget about it, and we'll regroup in the next game. And Palace, you know, they should be a side we, you know, should be able to beat. You know, they're not doing too badly in the league, and again, I'm sorry the league table doesn't always get shown. I don't know why that is, but not too bad of a side. They're in mid-table right now. As we take them on, we still feel very confident of our chances, but it was the away side who had the first chance. Joe Ledley strike going just over the bar and out for a goal kick, and in the 16th minute, a great chance on the counter here. Niang finds Craig Gardner. Gardner turns Scott down, plays it back inside towards Niang. Surely I'm going to score. Well, that's a man who's been in form of late, Niang, and that is a terrible finish. He must have laced up his shooting boots on the wrong way, because that is a terrible finish, and it's still 0-0. Another great chance here in the 26th minute. Jordan Abita winning this header, and it goes over the bar and out for a goal kick. So another great chance, but we can't take advantage. And in the 48th minute, Palace come through themselves here. The former Arsenal man, Marouane Chamakh, finds the former Villa man, Barry Bannon, towards the Moroccan, but the ball gets cut out only as far as Saive, in towards Joe Ledley, and Ledley makes it West Bromwich Albion 0, Crystal Palace 1 in the 49th minute, and the away side take the lead at the Hawthorns, and they were playing with no fear in this game, and it's not a real surprise. They must have watched game film and game footage from our game against Spurs and thought, these lads can't defend, so if we just keep on breaking forward, we'll score a goal, and they did. Joe Ledley getting the goal, making it West Brom 0, Palace 1, and it's the worst possible start to the second half here at the Hawthorns. But in the 57th minute, a great chance to respond here. Niang finds Craig Gardner, and as Gardner fake shots around Joe Ledley, well, Ledley may have scored a goal in this game, but he also gets himself sent off for a straight red card. And I have to say, I mean, you know, in the last game against Spurs, Kumalo got himself sent off and couldn't really complain, to be honest, but in this game, I have to say the referee seemed to be in our favour, because as Gardner fake shots around Joe Ledley, yes, he wins the ball. I know he comes through Gardner first, but I don't think that's a red card. It's a foul because he does come through Craig Gardner before he gets the ball. A booking, it's probably a bit harsh to give a booking really, but you can see why it might have been given as a booking. But really a straight red card for that I think is a diabolical decision by the referee. Not that we were complaining, and we certainly weren't complaining when we put the ball in the back of the net in the 71st minute. Victor Anichebe turned his man there with a nice little stop and drag back and put it past the goalkeeper to make it West Bromwich Albion 1, Palace 1. So making a statement, trying to get himself a higher wage increase and play for a new contract here. He makes it West Brom 1, Crystal Palace 1. A nice little goal there. He took it round. I think it might have been Hangeland before finessing the ball into the corner, and it is 1-1. And I have no doubt in my mind that the red card influenced that goal. If Palace were still at 11 men, I'm not sure he would have gone on to equalise. But the game did finish 1-1. This last chance from the header goes wide of the post and out for a goal kick, and the actual final last chance comes here in the 90th minute. Another header, this time by Anichebe. Well saved by the goalkeeper in turn behind for a corner. Brilliant save, really. But the game does finish West Brom 1, Palace 1. So at least we bounce back with a point. We don't lose 2 games in a row. Still not a good performance though, and we do need to regroup and make sure that this isn't a slip into a really bad run of form and it's just a couple of poor results. But as always guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed the episode, then please do leave a like, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.